Good morning, everyone. After over 100 dual quest runs, we are finally ready to augment all of our armors. If you guys tuned into yesterday's stream, I thank you a lot for your words of encouragement. It was a brutal stream. I lost a lot of brain cells, but we managed to get through this. Now, with that being said, before we jump into the rest of the video, if you're new to the channel, I upload NGS content daily. So if you do play this game, I would really appreciate a subscribe, as it really helps out the channel. Anyway, without further ado, let's begin the video. So the very first thing I want to showcase over here is, yes, I do have my first Ecstasis armor all the way enhanced to plus 90, so that we do have all 7 augment slots. I have not done the same for the other 2 armors yet, simply because I'm lazy, and in today's video, we're just going to augment 1 armor, and you guys get the idea. We're going to do a short comparison between the Ecstasis armor versus my Octo armor in the difference in potency, but just understand that I will be upgrading all of my augments over here. So as we can see, because of all those dual quests we actually did, we now have 2 Glangigas Mastes. We also were able to make 7 Grand Gladius Souls, as well as 4 Grand Dreadkeeper 2s. Now, you might be thinking, Kero, you did over 100 dual quest runs just for a measly less than 10 capsules or so, and the answer is yes, it's a lot. It's a lot of runs. Like, we literally had to do 60 runs to craft 30 Gladius Souls, which turned into 6 Grand Gladius Souls. So yeah, it was basically like 3 hours worth of effort in order to make 6 of these Grand Gladius Souls. But if they're 4 million a pop, that's 24 million. But we have 7 here, so that's even more. And then for the Grand Dreadkeeper 2s, that's another 6 million each, so that's another 24 million right here. And then of course we have the Glangigas Mastes, which are also going for not as much, 1.5 million each, but we do have 2 of them over here, so that's another 3 million. So overall, we did make quite a bit of money, especially if I do decide to sell any of these. So if you can stomach the dual quest, I believe dual quest is more money than just farming raw Meseta. If you have access to the shop, of course, you are going to need the 3-day shop pass if you're free to play in order to sell all of these capsules, but there is a lot of money to be made, especially with the Grand Gladius Soul as well as the Grand Dreadkeeper 2, since these 2 are going for a ton of money, especially the Grand Dreadkeeper 2. As we can see here, 6 million is the minimum price, so yeah, very profitable. But with that being said, we are simply going to head over to the item lab over here, because we are actually going to be upgrading everything, or we're going to be adding our augments to our Ecstasis armor. So the very first thing is we're going to do all of the guaranteed augments first. So that is of course the Anadi Def Parfait. This is a guaranteed 100% chance, 0 gambling involved. Then of course we have our Mega Triel S capsule, as well as our High Kavaris Domina S. So these 3 capsules all have a 100% success rate, so there is no gambling involved in order to get 3 of these capsules on. Now, if you are planning to buy any Anadi capsules, please hold off, because that scratch is literally returning in 2 weeks basically, or a week depending on how you see it. So just hold off, don't buy anything off the player market yet, because once the scratch returns, supply is going to increase, prices are going to decrease, and it's going to be a little bit more affordable. Now, as for the S capsules over here, if you guys were wondering, Carol, where did you get all of these S capsules? It's actually from the SG support scratch, and we're actually getting that tomorrow. So tomorrow the SG support scratch is coming back, and in the SG support scratch, I believe one of the scratch count bonuses is a Glangigas Maste or the Grand Gladius Soul. I forgot which one it was, but you are going to be able to get one of these from your scratch count bonus, and it's the S variant, which means there is 0 gambling involved. You can just throw it on and you're good to go. So if you do have a lot of star gems, then I would wait for tomorrow for the SG support scratch to kick in, and then spend your star gems there to get a bunch of these S capsules, so it'll make your augmenting a lot easier in order to get some of these high-end augments. But with that being said, we are simply just going to add these in very, very easily. So I like to do this in order right there, 1, 2, 3. Start a fixed augment. We don't need to put any protection because it's 100%, and wabam, success, we're all done. However, here is the fun part, as we need to start gambling 1 augment at a time. For those who are wondering, Carol, why don't you just gamble all of your augments at the same time? Why do you have to do it 1 at a time? And the reason is because of how the augmentation item protection works. So when we put in Gladiosol over here, or Grand Gladiosol, sorry, and start a fix, and we put a 20% booster, for example, and we use an N augmentation item protection. What the N augment item protection actually does is if it's a success, it will stick on the armor or the weapon. However, if you're doing multiple augments at the same time with an augment item protection, if any of those augments fail, it refunds all of the augments that were gambled. All right, so you can see over here when I click yes, and it's failed, and we can see here, since the affix has failed, the addition of all augments has been cancelled because of the feature of the support item. Note, the support item and the end meseta has been consumed. So let's say that I did multiple augments and everything else was a success except for the Grand Gladiosol. Well, it would refund all of those augments. Even though the other 3 augments I threw in were successes, it would count as a failure because 1 out of the 4 failed. All right, and this is why you want to gamble 1 at a time, because if you put all 4 and if just 1 fails, it refunds everything. So that is the reason why we have to do it 1 at a time. Now, you don't have to put 1 capsule at a time. I'm just doing it because I'm really cheap and it's 7% chance. And then I put 20% in order to gamble since I have a surplus of 20% success rate boosters. However, I know as a free to play, it's very difficult to get 20%. You probably have a ton of 10%, like I have 577 of these. So it's really up to you on how many you want to put, because the N augment item protection will actually refund the number of Grand Gladiosols or the number of capsules you put in. So for example, let's say that I put 2 Grand Gladiosols, right? So as we can see here, by default, that is a 14% success rate. We slap in a 10% booster, for example. So it's like, oh, it's 24% chance. And then we use our N augmentation item protection. If we fail this, it refunds both of the Grand Gladiosols back to us. Regardless of how many capsules we use, it will refund all of them, all right? So if you are a fully free to play and you only have the 10% success rate boosters, you can use more than 1 capsule over here in order to increase the success rate. However, in my case, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to be gambling with 1 at a time, simply because I do have a lot of 20% boosters. So that's a 27% chance every single time that I try this, which is, to me, I think it's a reasonable amount, and I think it will stick. It's supposed to stick, but we will try that one more time. So here we go again. Grand Gladiosol, 20%. We have 40 protections left and success. Oh dear, oh dear. This is the part where I start crying because it's gonna start failing a lot, right? It's gonna happen. Oh god. Do we need to change NPCs? This NPC sometimes is pretty cursed with his "let's get stronger and stronger." Because these augmentation item protections, oh, there we go. Because these N augmentation item protections are not cheap. Because, okay, wait. Wait a second, how many, did I just put 7 there? Oh, thank God, okay, I only used 1. So, okay, what happened there was when I went to add augments and I clicked on my Ecstasis armors, you can see that the Grand Gladiosol doesn't show up because I have it already on the armor. And I kind of had a mini heart attack because I thought I accidentally clicked minus and I added 7 of my Grand Gladiosols there, but that wasn't the case. I only added 1, but that gave me a heart attack for a second there. Anyway, now we got to do the Grand Dreadkeeper 2s. So we add that, start a fix. Again, we put in a 20% booster, 27% chance. But as I was saying, each of these N augmentation item protections is like 120 star gems. So every time we're failing over here, we're just tossing 120 star gems into the wind over and over and over. So it is a little bit painful doing this, but it is a necessary evil in order to save ourselves a lot of meseta. Oh, thank goodness, that was a success. Next up is the Glan Gigas Mass Day, and then the last one we'll do is the Lux Hal Finale at the very end. So here we go again, 20% and augmentation protection. Success. Oh, okay, one more. We just need to do one more. To be honest, the Lux Hell Finales, I could afford to put more if I wanted to. Actually, before I do this, I need to fix the order of my augments. This is real personal preference. It doesn't really do anything, but I just like to organize my augments in a very specific way, usually by cost. So, you know, Death Parfait, Gladius Soul, Grand Dread Keeper, Glan Gigas Maste, Lux Hal Finale, High Kavar's Domina, and then Mega Trial, or Mega Trial then High Kavar's Domina. I think these two are, it's debatable, but nevertheless, I think we're going to do that. We're going to put a 20% and protection and give it to me. Nope. It's fine. It's fine. We try that again. 7% chance. Honestly, with how much the Lux Hal Finales are, I really should use more than just one and just, you know, just bite the bullet, because I think it's worth spending the extra million or so with the Lux Hal Finale than 120 star gems. That's all my brain's telling me, but you know, I don't really listen to my brain most of the time, which is probably not the best idea. But YOLO, you know, and here we go. I should listen to my brain. I should listen to my brain. If we put 2, that will increase our chances greatly. It'll be like 30-something%. And Addy Capsule, Gladius Soul, Gigas Mask, no, Grand Dread Keeper, Gigas Maste, Lux Hal Finale, Kavaris, Domina, Mega Trial. 20%, there we go. So now we have a 34% success rate, and there we go. How am I failing this? What's going on? What's going on? How am I failing this? Okay, let's do this one more time. 20% protection, 34% chance. What is going on, guys? We're gonna do 3. We're gonna do 3. It's gonna be like 50 or 40% chance. All right, it's a 41% chance. We're putting 3 Lux Hal Finales. What is going on? What is going on? We got all the hard ones done. Why is this last step so difficult? 41%. Go. I'm running out of protections. I'm actually running out of protections. Do we go to 50, like 48%? Do we put 4 now? All right, I've put 4 Lux Hal Finale capsules now. It's a 48% chance. It's basically 50%. We're down to 28 protections. We went from 42 to 28. Thank God. All right, we're done. Oh my God. That was rough. That was so rough. Okay. Either way, we are done with this armor. And now when we put it on, you can see we gain 14.2% melee potency, 13.6 range potency, and 26.6 technique potency. We gain 4 defense, we earn 14 more battle power, and our damage adjustments increases by 1.8%. We equip that, well bam, look at that. These are our stats right now. Let me just open up my personal so you can see the stat sheet. These are my stats now. They've increased greatly. I'm at 257.7% melee potency now. And I'm still looking pretty good. I still have 1,300 HP, 227 PP, and yeah, my stats are still very, very consistent. But let me just show you the comparison, of course, because that's what you guys are here for. This gives us 115 HP and 25 PP. Remember, the armors itself doesn't give any of these stats. These are all from the augments alone. And each armor is going to give us 41.1% potency, and a lot of floor potency actually. However, it doesn't show here on the armors. Compared to my Octo Armor Argus, which give me 135 HP and 27 PP, so I am losing a little bit of HP. I'm losing 20 HP and I'm losing 2 PP, but I'm gaining so much more potency. It's 41.1% all potency, and I also have the 5% all resistance, versus the Octo Armor Argo, which gives me 35.5% all potency and 5% all resistance as well. But basically, I've increased my potency by like 6%, which is actually pretty massive, considering that it's 6% for everything, you know? It's 6% all potency across the board. So I still get HP, I still get PP, I still get potency. It's still pretty decent. It's still a very solid armor. However, again, I want to emphasize that I did upgrade these augments. When we look at the Octo Armor, it's still using an XD Def Parfait. This is using an Addy Def Parfait. As you can see here, the XD Def Parfait only gives me 4% potency as well as 3% potency floor, versus the Addy, which gives me 5% potency and 4% potency floor increase. So, you know, even though we're looking at the page 2 over here of the stat sheets and you're like, wow, that's a huge upgrade, Jesus Christ, you know, these armors are amazing. It's not actually the case. It's really because of the augments themselves. This is one of the main reasons why I didn't want to use my augment transfer pass, was because even if I did use my augment transfer pass and transferred this over, there are still so many augments I needed to change anyway. Like the XD Def Parfait, I would have to replace with the Addy capsule. With the Gladiosol, I would replace this with the Grand Gladiosol. With the High Ale Domina, I would replace this with the High Kavaris Domina. With the Grand Dread Keeper, I would replace this with Grand Dread Keeper 2. So like there's literally 4 augments right here that I'm replacing out of 7. So it's like, do I really want to augment transfer? You know, it just didn't really make much sense. So that is why in the end, I decided to bite the bullet and just re-augment everything myself and just build it from scratch. And honestly, it's not bad because I also gained damage resistance over here, 1.9% damage resistance. So overall, it's a solid armor. It's a big upgrade, but we are not exactly done because I still need to work on the other 2 pieces, and I need to go through the exact same process of what we just did for the last 2 pieces. But I'm not gonna bore you with that. I'm just gonna do this in my own time, probably on the stream, to be honest, as I will be streaming today as well. I stream every single day on twitch.tv/keroppi_sensei. So you guys could probably tune into that, and we will augment and gamble on stream and hopefully be able to finish our last 2 armors. If push really comes to shove, we could use the augment transfer pass on the last piece of armor if I really run out of protections, for example. But you know, fingers crossed, because we are down to 27 augmentation item protections. This is a little bit painful, but who knows? Hopefully we'll be able to get the last 2 armors as well. Then we're gonna be really min-maxed, and then we go do some DPS showcases after that. Special thanks to all the members for supporting the channel. It really means a lot to me. Thank you again. But yeah, that's all I wanted to cover in today's video. Hopefully you guys found it interesting. If you did, I would appreciate a like and a subscribe, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Bye.